Sauce Gardner has one of the most insane stories we've seen in recent memory. As a rookie, he was named a first-team All-Pro selection, a Pro Bowler, and someone with pretty much unlimited potential. If you would have told anyone this a decade ago, they would have called you nuts. What's crazy is he barely had any offers coming out of high school, was not even a top 150 player at his position, and was never supposed to see the NFL or really play a whole lot in college. Sauce Gardner has defied all the odds, and in today's video, I want to go through his story, talk about how he went from a 3-star low-level recruit to one of the top young players in the game of football. I'm excited to go through it, but before we get started, be sure to let me know another player I can take a look at in my next video, leave a like if you want to support today's video, subscribe if you love college football, and turn on notifications so you never miss when I upload. Now, let's talk about the incredible and insane rise of Sauce Gardner. In order to understand the rise of Sauce, we first need to go back in time. Ahmad Gardner was born in the state of Michigan, more specifically in the Detroit area. In 6th grade, Gardner began to discover his football talents as he got his infamous nickname in Little League. He said, quote, "In Little League football, I had the moves. I was playing running back and I was super saucy with the juke moves, and one coach started to call me A1 Sauce Sweet Feet Gardner." That is where he first got the nickname, and he grew up in Detroit and credits his mom for keeping him on track. He said, quote, "Growing up in Detroit, I didn't really have anything. What I did have was a mother who always made the impossible possible. For things I wanted, she'd give me a hard time when asking for it, and she's my hero." When Sauce got older, his mom helped him to do the impossible once again. "I wanted to go to all these football camps and prove I could play with anyone, but I never thought I'd be able to, but my mom always found a way to make it happen for me." Sauce always had potential. One drill as a kid would make things apparent for him. Coach Curtez Harris had a drill where a player would throw a ball as high and as far as he could, and they would sprint under it and try to catch it. One day, Gardner pleaded with him to let him do the drill, and he ended up running, stretched his hands out, and caught the ball in his fingertips, and found a way to hold on to the ball. At that moment, Coach Tez knew that he was going to be special. Despite all the hard times, his mother always paid for his camps and chances for him to follow his dreams, and that would continue when he got to high school. He was going to go to the local powerhouse school, but the coaches there didn't even know who he was. He walked up to one assistant one day in 8th grade and said, quote, "I'm coming to King, I'm coming to King." Assistant coach Tyrone Spencer remembers looking at him and not knowing who he was, but at least being happy that the guy was passionate about King. When I say the word King, I'm referring to Martin Luther King High School in Detroit, which is a local powerhouse, and the same school that current 2023 5-star quarterback Dante Moore played at. Sauce played running back as a kid, but would go into high school as a wide receiver, and this would ultimately stunt his national recruitment. But it would not stunt his dreams. The assistant coach took a video of young Gardner talking about all the accomplishments he was going to reach, that he was going to shine in high school, earn all these offers, and then play professionally. At the time, he sounded crazy, but he ended up delivering on all of it. He was a decent player while he was at King, but not a huge recruit by any means. Toledo was the first school to really notice him and would actually make him his first offer. During his junior season, a freak play would change his life. Opportunity would arise in the secondary as 2 of his teammates collided into a game against Cass Tech, and one broke his jaw. This would give Sauce an opportunity to play on defense, and he would shine while he was there. He'd play the rest of his junior season at corner, and that following spring, his offer sheet began to fill up. Gardner said, quote, "God worked in some serious ways. We needed somebody to go make plays, and I ended up doing it." Gardner's recruiting stock would take off late, largely due to his move to corner, but thankfully his brother was there to guide him. He played college football at a lower level, but his older brother Alante helped him through the process by putting together a giant spreadsheet to compare the schools and listed 10 subcategories that included school ranking and number of defensive backs that the team has put in the NFL and on the roster. The family truly came through for him, and eventually Sauce did earn some decently good offers. Kentucky, Indiana, and Syracuse were the only Power 5 programs to go after him, but a lot of Group of 5 programs were begging for him to come there. Some wanted him as a receiver, and some wanted him as a corner, but at the end of the day, he would settle in Cincinnati, due in large part to the efforts of Mike Mickens, who was the corners coach at the time, and Marcus Freeman, who was Cincinnati's defensive coordinator. He ended up choosing the Bearcats because he said, quote, "It checked a lot of boxes, and Cincinnati had the most stars for the most categories. They didn't do a lot of talking, they did a lot of doing and showing." He also adds in the fact that he had a dream that he got drafted by Cincinnati, and he wanted to make that dream a reality. He was going to a good Group of 5 program, but the dude was extremely skinny, and the only reason Cincinnati really wanted him is because they thought they could develop him. According to 24/7 Sports, he was only a 3-star recruit, the number 163 cornerback, and the 1,672nd best player in the class of 2019. So how would this skinny and lanky kid do at Cincinnati? Well, let's find out. When Gardner arrived at Cincinnati, he only weighed 160 pounds, and some wondered if he'd ever see the field. Early on in his first camp though, he would make plays. Coach Fickell said, quote, "Man, this guy's gonna be good in 2 years once you get some weight on him." Sauce would actually break out very quickly during his time at Cincinnati. He'd burst onto the national scene when Cincinnati would play against UCF. Against the Knights, he would actually bait quarterback Dylan Gabriel and then would jump the route and have a pick six in their upset win over the Knights. This is when diehard college football fans were introduced to Sauce, and from there, he would just take off. He finished his freshman season with 31 tackles, 8 pass deflections, and 3 interceptions. 2 of those went for pick sixes, and because of that, Gardner was named a freshman All-American. Expectations would rise in 2020, and he would live up to them. This time, he finished with 28 tackles, 6 pass deflections, and once again, 3 interceptions. This all came in less games, as it was the weird 2020 season, and they get matched up against Georgia in a bowl game. Unfortunately, they would lose that game late, but going into 2021, Gardner was seen as one of the top corners in the country. Despite teams barely throwing the ball his way, he still finished with 40 tackles, 4 pass deflections, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 3 interceptions. He had his best season when the spotlight was on him, and when teams were literally throwing the ball nowhere near him. Because of that, he was named an All-American and declared for the 2022 NFL Draft. He became the 3rd Bearcats player in history to become a consensus All-American, joining a kicker and a punter. Cincinnati had not had a player selected in the first round since 1971, but Sauce would change that as he would go 4th overall to the New York Jets. Luke Fickell addressed Sauce's impact on the program. Fickell said, quote, "I just want to say thank you to Ahmad and his family for everything he has poured into the University of Cincinnati and our football program. He'll go down as one of the greatest Bearcats to ever play here, and certainly one of the most talented, accomplished, and competitive players I have ever coached. It was fun to watch Ahmad's growth on and off the field during the last 3 years." Gardner's nickname quickly caught on at Cincinnati amongst his teammates, but head coach Luke Fickell actually didn't have any of it. He told Gardner he wouldn't call him until he was drafted, so when Gardner was taken by the Jets, Fickell called him and addressed him as Sauce for the first time ever. As I said, the Jets took him with the 4th overall pick, and for him being drafted that high, there was going to be high expectations on him. The most shocking stat from his college career was that he didn't allow a single touchdown in coverage in his 3 years there. Honestly, that stat just sounds made up. The guy played college football and never once was scored on. That is why he went so high, and while that probably wasn't going to happen as a rookie with the Jets, he would still have an insane rookie season. He finished the 2022 season with the Jets with 75 tackles and 2 interceptions. Sauce was tremendous in coverage, made some game-changing plays, and was always stopping offensive players. The weight of his impact also isn't necessarily shown in the stat column, as a lot of times the ball is not getting thrown his way, and that in itself is a big deal. Because of that, Sauce was named a Pro Bowler and a first-team All-Pro selection, and this was the first time a rookie player had been named to the All-Pro team since 1981. Sauce right now is one of the best young players in the NFL, has an extremely bright future, and to make the story even better, he's going to go back to school this summer to finish his degree, and now his mom will never have to work again, as when she provided for him back in the day, he's now bringing it back to her. And overall, Sauce just has an incredible story, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you're a Cincinnati or a Jets fan, let me know your thoughts on Sauce, give me another player or topic I can cover in my next video, and be sure to let me know your thoughts down below, and leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and check out all of the videos on the end screen. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.